Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. We're going to switch gears and discuss breast cancer awareness. This year, an estimated 267,000 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in women in the U.S. And according to a recent study, women in several Milwaukee zip codes are nearly twice as likely to die from breast cancer as those living in surrounding neighborhoods. My next guest is Amberlea Childs. She's a program manager for Conversations with Komen Presented by Kohl. Hi, Amberlea.
Hi, Andrea.
Welcome back to the show.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, we usually discuss breast cancer in October, but I find it very important to have this conversation now in June to emphasize that this is something that needs to be talked about every month of the year.
Every day, any day.
Yeah, I hear that. So if you would bring us up to date with what's going on with Conversations with Komen. Obviously, there has been a slight change in the name.
Yeah, so we decided that we wanted to change our program name to really emphasize what we are doing. There was a little disconnect there. So we're real excited that our program talks about who we are and what we are physically doing, which is the conversation. Just what we're doing here today, casually talking about challenges, issues, things that we as folks face in our day-to-day community. So what the program name, also we have a new satellite location, which is located on the north part of town in the COA Golden Center. And this is going to be a satellite location for our Komen, Wisconsin headquarters. And what's really unique to it is that we have found the location based on where the greatest need in the city of Milwaukee lies. We were able to find COA, partner with them, and now we have a hub, a small location located inside their Golden Center where folks can come and visit us Wednesdays and Thursdays.
I love that, and we will talk more about that center coming up in just a little, but first wanted to really emphasize the goal. You said that mainly, of course, you just want people to feel comfortable having a conversation about breast health, and I think the other thing is really people understanding the importance of getting those screenings, because as with everything, early detection is key. So when these conversations take place, the conversations are had in many different places. So give us an idea of where you have these sessions.
Yeah, so there's community fun nights that take place at different community centers out there. We have National Night Out is coming up in August, and that's a huge event put on by different police districts and communities. So we'll attend those. We go to different schools, whether we service the families and the children there, or we're serving the faculty and the staff who work at the school as well. So I'll say we'll go anywhere in the community as long as they're willing to talk with us. We're willing to send a team of folks out. But creating the hub is now allowing us to go where we're needed, but then also really be stationary for those individuals who might not have transportation or maybe limited in their mobility. So it's nice for them to be able to come to us at a certain time.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the stuff that you talk about, not only, you know, getting screened, which is number one, most important, but you talk about give people the opportunity to talk about why they're scared to have maybe their mammogram, or what they heard about a mammogram, you know, just all these different things, or maybe even some of the barriers that's keeping them from being able to go and get an exam, or maybe some resources that exist for them to take advantage of.
Exactly. So we service women in regards to the education piece. We also refer them on to free screenings for women who are underinsured or have no insurance. But what is really important is that conversation piece. We might meet with a woman 2-3 times in the community and have a different conversation. She might engage with 2 or 3 different volunteers, and finally, we might address her barrier, and then she takes action. So for us, it's not just popping into a school once. It's not just going to a community center once. It's being in the community again and again. And that's really been such a benefit to us because Kohl's will support us, has supported this program. We're in our 9th year. Because behavioral changes do not take place in a year. And so it's really great that we're able to then be in communities again and again. So maybe when that woman sees us for the 3rd or 4th time, she says, you know what? I'm concerned about this. I'm afraid of a mammogram. And she'll come and maybe engage in those questions, because through time and time, we've broken down some of that fear and addressed some of those barriers.
Yeah, and so in having conversations, I talk to women just in general, about mammograms and how you almost figure out after a while that the regular machine is not going to do it for you. If you're more dense, then you're going to need that 3D. So now I know going in, give me the 3D. Let's not even go through the other two that we know is not going to give you a good picture. But other, women understanding that if they are dense, that's what they should do, right off the bat. It's those type of things really, they're helpful.
Well, that makes you an informed consumer. And so, if I'm going to go buy a car, if I'm going to go buy dinner tonight, I'm going to read the menu before I order my meal, right?
Right.
I'm going to look at the cars and do my research before I buy a car. So I like to think of it in the same capacity. Not all women have dense breasts, but you need to find out if you do. And one thing that's a big misconception out there is that women believe, some women, that by doing a self-exam, that you will feel the thickness, the density in that breast, and they view that as dense breast tissue. However, that is false. You might have some thickness and firmness, but density is defined when the radiologist is looking at their mammogram results and saying there's lack of view. The density is visible on that mammogram report, and therefore the radiologist will be the one to say that you have dense breast tissue. So this is a great question that women could be asking when they're having mammograms or after they've had it, to have a discussion with their provider about their density.
When having these conversations, people do have the opportunity to have their own sessions. So if they want to invite their own group of family and friends and really make this up close and personal, they can do that as well.
Absolutely. So we know that breast cancer doesn't just affect an individual, it affects families. It takes a village to deal with any type of cancer. So maybe some folks might have a larger family. Maybe they just want to have a little bit more of an intimate discussion. We would be more than happy to come to your book club, come to your church, come to your home even, and we would find the right volunteer who is going to be applicable to that conversation. If it's a group of elders, I don't want to send in a college student. I want to send in a woman who has the same type of life experience, who can maybe relate person to person. Same thing if I go to a college, I want to be able to send in somebody who's maybe a little bit more youthful and going to represent those ideals and some of those younger beliefs
And that lifestyle.
those practices, because we know when we're young, we're very invincible, that we will ever be sick or ever break a bone or need to wear glasses or any of those things that happen as we age. And so as we move into adulthood, and even as we're young, cancer afflicts anybody at any age. But specifically with breast cancer, as our breasts start to develop and as they start to change, our hormones are surging, we are great candidates at that time for breast exams. So at Susan G. Komen, we recommend that young women begin getting clinical exams at the age of 20. Know your bodies. Know what it looks like, know what things feel like.
And know your family history.
Oh, yeah.
That's really important.
We don't even have to talk to our family nowadays. You can send them a text, you can get an email, you can go on Ancestry and get some, so there's lots of ways that we can communicate without having to sit down with, auntie or uncle and, get that whole family history. But we need to know that family history. It's so important.
I couldn't agree with you more. And so I just wanted to mention a couple of places. You said you guys go everywhere, and just definitely people should keep their eyes open. June 16th at 10 a.m. You're going to be at the Midtown Neighborhood Association. Community, July 31st at 8 a.m. You'll be at the Southside Health Center screening event. And August 4th at 10 a.m. You'll be at the Heart Love Place Back to School Rally. Then on August 26th at 8 a.m. you've got the Fiesta Run Walk. And I mean it when I say that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a long list of places where you are, and people can go to your website to get all the details, right?
Correct, and it's currently our website is still Kohl's conversationsforthecure.org.
Okay.
And we can also be reached by phone at 414-389-4885. Folks can give us a call, find out where a conversation is near them, and we can always connect them to a volunteer who could then call them, connect with them to find out what their specific needs or questions might be.
Or if someone has an event coming up and they want to have you guys involved, they can at least inquire and see if you can get them on the schedule,
Absolutely.
right?
August becomes a busy month with all the back to school things that are taking place. So that's exciting because where children are, usually parents are. And so we find that coming out to maybe non-health related events can be just as fruitful for our volunteers and the discussion that we have.
If someone has some type of financial situation where they say, you know what, they don't have insurance and they don't have the money to go pay for a screening, you do have a place where people can go to inquire to see if in fact you can help them with a number of things, right?
Correct. So that is one thing that we're really awesome at, is really connecting folks to resources in the community. And so we might not have every answer, but we know we're connected to a lot of groups, a lot of organizations. And one of the things that we do is we refer women on to get free screenings. Two ways we do that: through the Wisconsin Well Woman Program, which, if folks do not know, that is a breast and cervical. So if I can get a woman enrolled through that, it's a city-state program. If we can enroll her in the Well Woman Program, we could then get her a free mammogram, and we then could get her a pap smear as well. So it's like double health care, right?
Absolutely.
And then that caps out though. So an individual, if you make too much money or you're a certain age, you might not be able to get into that program. So after that, Susan G. Komen, Wisconsin, we have our own fund called the Komen Fund, and that will take care of individuals who make more than the state-funded program. And it basically serves anybody who makes about 450% above the actual poverty, and that is about $48,000 a year.
Wow.
So that's really important because that's middle America. You could still be making $48,000 a year and get a free mammogram.
Yes, I love that. So you did mention early on in the conversation that you have this new initiative that's considered the Komen Corner, so to speak. It's inside the COA Golden Center at 2320 West Burleigh, and that's in the 53206 zip code. I mentioned in the opening of this segment that there are a number of zip codes in Milwaukee where women are nearly twice as likely to die from breast cancer than those who are living in surrounding neighborhoods. Those zip codes include 53205, 06, 08, 10, 13, 16, and 23.
Yes.
Okay, so explain why these zip codes fall under that scenario.
Yeah, and there's also two others that lie on the south side as well. So really what we've identified, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, so a lot of these communities are underserved. They sometimes are communities of color. They are individuals who maybe are working 2 or more jobs. They might be single family households. So there's a single parent maybe taking care of multiple children. Maybe they're multi-generational families living in a single household. So we have a lot of additional stress. We might have a little bit of less income. And so the stress, the pressure that these put on us doesn't make healthcare, doesn't make going to find a yoga class. Where can I get a cheap yoga class at? Because I really want to take care of myself, but at the same time, I'm not able to find a yoga class that's offered when I'm not at work. So we have these life challenges that I like to call them. In order to put food on the table and pay your rent every month, you got to do those things that are necessary. And so what our hope is that with the Komen Corner, this resource center, folks will be able to come in and tell us where they are. Do you need food assistance? Because the COA has a food pantry there. We can connect you with that. Do you need to be enrolled in WIC? Because that can also be something. And so what we're hoping is that we can connect people to free healthy lifestyle classes like cooking. Maybe it's a canning class, taking with healthy salad dressings, gardening, Zumba. And if we can offer free healthy lifestyle classes, we can pull the community in and then say, hey, guess what? We're going to talk to you about breast cancer as well. And here's some free resources for screening. So it's all in the same bucket, but we really want to make sure that we're offering pieces that are attractive to women because the breast cancer part is scary and frightening.
Yes, great way to end today's program. Thank you so much for your time. Amberlea Childs is the program manager for Conversations with Komen, presented by Kohl's. For more information, you can visit kohlsconversationsforthecure.org, or to find out a conversation near you, you can dial 414-389-4885. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.